Can you identify this voice?
Have you ever been in heaven where I was last night?
In the next half hour, you will hear the voices of some of the world's best-known personalities on radio's newest, most exciting, fun game, Says Who? Yes, it's time for Says Who. And here's the star of Says Who, Henry Morgan.
Hooray! Hey, great fellow.
Thank you. Thank you very kindly, and good evening. We have an interesting panel ready to play Says Who. Before I introduce them to you, let's listen to these words of interest.
Hey, what do you think of my new swept wing 58 Dodge, Ernie? Ain't she a beaut?
Boy, that's really a big car.
Big? I'll say she's big. I'll stay here by the grill and you go take a look at those swept wing fins at the rear.
Okay. This is the longest, lowest car I ever saw.
Come on back by the door. I'll show you the inside.
Okay.
Now look inside.
Wow, this Dodge is big inside.
Look how wide the seats are.
Who are those people in here?
The neighbors. I'm charging them $1 an hour to sit there. Come on.
Wow, you really got a lot of car here.
And with all this, Dodge is priced below 59 different models in the low price field. Hey, you want to go for a ride?
Let me sit down a minute. I'm exhausted.
And now let's meet our panel. First, Joey Adams.
Well, good evening, everybody.
And next, Dagmar.
Hello, everybody.
And Orson Bean.
You know, from right to left, this panel looks like an egg sandwich.
You're a nice-looking slice of bread. And that is our panel. Panel, I know you know the rules, but what can I do? We play a voice which you try to identify. The listener suggesting the voice gets $15. If you fail to come up with the right answer, we send the listener a Ben Russ wristwatch. Now, in case the voice goes by too fast for you, you have the text of what is said on a card in front of you. Let's play a little old Says Who. The first voice was suggested by Frida Marie Fruchting of Hudson, New York.
Zedegian Irwin, 385 Broadway. Zadikoff John, 4646 Audubon. Zadikoff Jack, 200 West 94. Zadikoff Anna, Mrs. 310 Dykem Street.
May we have the offstage announcer identify that voice, please?
That voice belonged to the well-known actor Vincent Price. The panel doesn't know that Mr. Price is backstage and can hear everything they say.
Very interesting. All right, panel. Let's play a little Says Who. Joey Adams, why don't you start?
Well, it sounds like an undertaker taking orders.
On a good day.
It's a roll call of some kind?
Yeah, in a way.
An honor roll?
No.
An onion roll?
What do you call an onion roll?
Well, this fella sounds very sad, Henry. Is he an unhappy kind of a guy?
You mean day in and day out, or just when he was doing this?
Well, I mean, is this indicative of anything about him personally?
No.
When I say indicative, I'm using the subjunctive.
I was following you with the apparative.
I never know what they're talking about.
Now, this man, is he sad as a person?
I don't think so.
Is he sad in what he was doing here?
I guess it unnerved him a little.
Does it have anything to do with what he's reading here?
No, it has nothing to do with
Reads everything starting with Z.
It could be. Dagmar, you're on.
Does he ever wear a uniform?
Not to my knowledge.
Is this man in show business?
Yes.
Is he an actor?
Yes.
Is he a movie star?
Yes.
He's not in sports, then he is in show business.
Hmm?
I was hoping it was Joe DiMaggio or somebody like that.
Because he's an actor and he's in show business? That's a nice hope, dear.
Well, is this a young man?
Can I tell you
about
something,
50?
Dagmar? You're talking and I don't understand you at all.
Well, I just wanted you to see how it felt, honey. Is this man about 35 or 50?
That's right.
Is he a leading man?
In the sense that what?
Well,
That's
is he the
my
star
leading.
of the picture or is he the second lead?
Which picture, dear?
Whatever one I'm trying to think of. Is it does he do musicals?
I don't think so, and we go to Orson Bean.
Does he always like to read the phone book?
You're right, that was from the phone book.
And he must have felt strong that day because he opened it way down at the end. I think I know Erwin Zagabudian. Can I take a wild guess?
You might as well.
The voice sounded familiar. It's not Vincent Price.
Yes, it is. And here he is. Hello, Vincent. Mr. Price, you will forgive me if I send $15 to Frida Marie Fruchting of Hudson, New York?
I will.
That's a relative of Erwin Zagabudian.
And I must say, I thought that was awfully nice of you to do the telephone book for us. I don't think it's going to be the hit record of all time.
No, I saw Jack Benny do it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Where?
He did it on a TV show. I thought it was a great piece of material.
The phone book? Yes,
Yeah.
I was out that night.
I saw that. It was good, Vince. It was so nice to see you, dear.
Then you are very kind in joining our panel. Let's play a voice for you and see how this thing works out. Ladies and gentlemen and panel, the voice you heard at the beginning of the show is this one, and it was suggested by Mrs. Margaret Shirey of Beavertown, Pennsylvania.
Have you ever been in heaven? Well, I was last night.
May we have our offstage announcer identify that voice, please?
The singer you just heard was none other than one of baseball's all-time greats, the Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio.
True. Let's play a little old Says Who, and Dagmar, dear, let's start with you.
Was he singing this song in front of an audience?
Not really.
Was he alone on the stage when he sang it?
No.
Was he singing to a girl?
Gee, I don't know.
Did he do this in a movie?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Does he play romantic leads?
Yes.
Does he usually wear a hat over one eye?
You mean out in the street?
No, when he's working in a movie.
No, not when he's working in a movie, he doesn't.
He doesn't play gangster movies?
I don't think so. And we
I
go
thought
to
maybe it's
Orson...
Victor Mature.
I
thought it might be Victor Mature.
Does he wear a hat over one eye?
Yes.
Victor Mature wears a toga over one eye.
Well, I didn't know how to say it. Thanks, sweetie.
I wouldn't
missed that
recognize
picture
him without
with
his sheet.
Missed that picture with the hat. Orson Bean.
Is this fellow a professional singer?
No.
No, he was an actor who sang in this one picture. He was an actor.
Well, to tell you the truth.
He was a personality.
That's right.
But not primarily an actor?
Not primarily.
Was this a short feature?
He was, no, it was a full-length picture.
He wasn't one of the Three Stooges or something.
No, he's a personality.
I see. He didn't make a lot of pictures, then, I take it.
No.
Well, I mean, somebody like Will Rogers. No, he was an actor. Will Rogers
He was sort of an actor, yeah.
This fella, was he a politician?
No. And we go to Vincent Price.
Was this man famous for playing in a musical on Broadway with one leg?
Could you give me the name of a musical with one leg?
I saw one last night, but this was another one. This was called Knickerbocker Holiday a long time ago.
No, Vincent, I try very hard not to mislead anyone. He was essentially a personality.
A personality,
in the sense, in this picture, that is.
He was never a politician?
No.
I mean, who left politics for show business?
No,
or
nothing
vice
of that.
versa? You know, like John Cabot Lodge?
None of that stuff, no.
Has he ever worked nightclubs?
Not to my knowledge.
He doesn't sing professionally, that's obvious.
All right. On that obvious note, we go to Joey Adams.
What's obvious about that?
You're usually the one who criticizes singing.
Well, I like his singing.
You do?
Yeah, not for a human being. But this fella is a singer, and it was a full-length picture?
I didn't say he was a singer.
It was
He
a
sang in a
silent
full-length picture.
Yeah.
Didn't they make it into a short?
They would have been well advised.
He's not an actor, he's not a singer, he's a personality. Is he an entertainer?
No.
Is he of the sporting world?
Yes.
as a sportsman or a sporting personality, did he become an entertainer only because he was a great figure in sports?
Yes.
Football?
No.
Baseball?
Yes.
Baseball figure.
Right.
Is he popular today as an actor or in show business?
Let's say this way, he's well-liked.
A well-liked baseball player. Is he still active as a ball player?
No.
He's not active as a ball player. Was he in the outfield?
Yes.
Is he living?
Yep.
A living outfielder. I know him.
Of course you do.
It's on the tip of my tongue, and I'm not going to let Dagmar read it either.
Joe DiMaggio?
Oh, shut up!
Dag, how did you ever get to read the tip of Joey's tongue?
Just lucky, I guess.
I guess so. It's a lot of rail operating here. Well, that sends $15 to Mrs. Margaret Shirey of Beavertown, Pennsylvania. You see, Vincent, what a gyp game this is, basically? See. And you see how honest I try to be?
Yes.
We'll get back to the game in a minute. In the meantime, here's something for coffee drinkers everywhere. Listen to this.
Hello, folks. This is Price Right, your shopping reporter, about to welcome the 1,000th customer here at our new store in Sunken Heights. And here she comes. Congratulations, madam.
Step aside, Buster. You're blocking traffic.
You don't understand. I'm from the network.
Network, schmetwork. There's a big introductory sale in there on decaf.
Yes, madam. Now, if you'll just tell us your name, I'll...
Look, decaf, there's a sale. 10 cents off the regular-sized jar, so move.
But, Mrs. Decaf, this will only
Look,
take...
I'm not decaf. It's the coffee. Nestle's decaf. D-E-C-A-F. You know, the Feel Wonderful coffee. 97% caffeine-free.
Yes. Well, Mrs. Decaf, did you know
Just step aside and we'll forget the whole thing.
But I'm trying to...
I'll scream.
Oh, madam, really, you wouldn't. No.
Help!
Yeah, no, wait. No, please.
Yes, new instant decaf is something to shout about. Try decaf coffee now while you get 10 cents off the regular size. Supplies are limited, so hurry. Save 10 cents on decaf at your grocer's now.
All right, panel, this voice was suggested by Ben Blakeney of New York City, New York.
Oh, Papa. Let us get this over and forget it. I can't forgive myself for having made the whole house miserable over a tankard of porter.
May we have our offstage announcer identify that voice?
That was one of Hollywood's most famous names, Norma Shearer.
Let's play a little old Says Who, and Orson Bean will start with you.
Say, the crowd is abuzz. Is this from a Vitaphone feature?
You're pretty close. Pretty close.
This girl was a leading lady, I presume.
Absolutely.
She sounds kind of lovey and all like that. Like she might have been making love to William Powell or one of them splendid fellas.
We'll go to Vincent Price and see, does this thing fall apart?
Well, I must say the dialogue sounds like it was a silent picture. But it didn't. But was it a costume picture?
It was of its period.
Was she a drunkard in the picture?
No, this lady made the whole picture sober.
She made the... Oh. And she got an Academy Award for it, that's for sure.
I'm not even sure they had Academy Awards then.
Was this girl a beauty?
Yes. And we go to Joey Adams.
She says, I can't forgive myself for having made the whole house miserable over a tankard of porter. Did she spill it?
No, she drank it.
That's
then
what
she
I
was
asked.
the porter that got tanked, is that it?
No, Vincent, you can drink a tank of porter without being a stiff, you know.
Just a minute, you're talking to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. You can drink a tank of porter.
You're talking to me, and you're answering him. I don't get it.
It shows you what a two-faced guy I am.
I like them both, though, Henry. Now, let's get to this. Would I distinguish her from any other actress? In other words, was she the kind of a girl who played all dramatic, heavy parts, like with long tankards and things, or whatever it is? Was she a bright, gay girl, like what I know of from certain mannerisms or way, or a caricature, or a face, or something that hung down or stood up, or anything?
Yes, and we go to Dagmar.
Go ahead, now read my lips.
All right, I'll do that. Did she ever play in a movie where the court sent her to the Gillarine?
Just a moment. I have to speak to my lawyer. Joey, what does your friend mean?
She means margarine.
No, Gillarine. I don't like to say it because they chop their heads off. It's an ugly picture.
Uh-huh.
Did she ever play in a picture like that?
In a Guillerine?
Where they sent her to the
I don't
Guillerine?
think so, Dag.
Is she a tall
Did she?
girl?
Oh, she did. My information services
See there?
flew in. She did have a Guillerine.
See there? I did get from the tip of your tongue. Is she a tall girl with high cheekbones?
Just a minute now. She's a medium-sized girl with medium-high cheekbones.
I know a tall girl with a short build. Is that anything?
She's built shorter after the Guillerine.
Henry, it's Marjorie.
No, it's Guillerine.
That makes it slippery. Guillerine. And we go to Orson Beam.
Was this girl in A Tale of Two Cities?
Was this girl with tail? No.
How many pictures with the Guillerine was there?
This girl happened to be in a Guillerine picture. Boy, am I tired of that word. I'm tired of the picture, and I'm pretty tired of the girl, too. Vincent Price, and
Did
see
she
what
play in she's retired now?
Yes, she's retired.
Yes, and did she was a very good actress, I think.
Yeah, I think
correct she was a beauty, too, but she was a better actress than she was a beauty.
Right.
She played in a picture called Marie Antoinette.
She did that.
And her name was Norma Shearer.
Absolutely.
It was that Guillerine that gave it away to me, you know.
Well, just
You're
the
great.
same.
You're great, Dag.
Thank you, darling. You're so right.
Mr.
She might be the only woman who could confound the Guillerine, you know.
We've been here 36 weeks. Vincent Price comes in and guesses the first one. Who needs him?
I'll tell you the truth. We do. Which sends $15 to Ben Blakeney of Guillerine, New York.
Guillerine.
If you folks at home would like to suggest a voice for Says Who, here's Hal Sims to tell you how you can do it.
Simply write your name and address and the mystery voice you suggest on a postcard and mail to Says Who, CBS Radio, 485 Madison Avenue, New York 22. In case of duplication, the card bearing the earliest postmark will be chosen. Please remember, only postcard entries are eligible and only one entry on each postcard. If we use your suggested voice, you'll receive $15. If the panel fails to come up with the right answer, you'll receive a Benrus wristwatch. All entries become the property of CBS Radio. If you'd like tickets for our show, just write to CBS Radio, 485 Madison Avenue, New York 22, New York. Now back to Henry Morgan.
All right, Hal. Okay, panel. This voice was suggested by Mary Hollingsworth of Columbus, Ohio.
Well, I'm still trying to be one. Although I'm getting a little old now, and joints are getting a little creaky as I go around the joints, and I don't do as much chasing.
May we have the offstage announcer identify that voice, please?
You were listening to the voice of Earl Wilson, whose popular column appears in the New York Post and other papers throughout the country.
Anybody want to play a little old Says Who? Joey Adams, why don't you start, kid?
This man with the creaky joints, has he ever been arrested?
It's possible, but I never read of it.
Does he mean by joints illegitimate places?
I don't think so.
Would this guy be creaking in my house?
Well, these days, he'd be creaking almost anywhere he went. According to him, that's what he says.
Well, would he come to your home?
If invited.
Would you invite him to your home?
Yes.
Then I would invite him to my home.
No.
Why, we got the same mutual people that we like, and yet still we don't like. And if you don't want them, I don't want them.
I was looking at it the other way. I was figuring he'd come to my house, but, oh, well.
You have a nicer house, Henry.
I'll be glad to clean it up.
Your house?
No, my joints.
And we go to Dagmar.
When he's in joints, does he do what he does in front of everybody?
How's that?
Well, you're talking about joints, but I'll tell you something. Does this man always have a lot of pencils with him?
You're going to tell me something. Does this man have a lot of pencils with him?
Yes.
He has pencils with him.
And he travels around quite a bit. I recognize that man's voice. I'm pretty sure I knew who this man is. This man writes a column.
Yeah.
For the Post.
Does he sell
This
pencils?
man is a very dear friend of mine. I adore him madly, and it's Earl Wilson.
You're absolutely right. Joey?
He's been in my home many times.
I know it, Joey. He told me, and he's pretty tired of your house.
He's been at my house, Henry. He tried to sell me some pencils.
He is a darling fellow. I love Earl.
Do you?
And
we
his
should
wife
get rid of
and
those
his son.
creeks.
He hasn't
Vincent,
got
do you
creeks.
care to make a remark about Earl before we...
I thought it was Gary Cooper, so I...
You get one more laugh for more than you.
Joey, hold it. Sends $15 to Mary Hollingsworth of Columbus, Ohio. Here's a dinger. Each week, we give people at home a chance to play Says Who. We play a voice, the panel asks a couple of questions, and you take it from there. If you think you know whose voice it is, you're asked to mail us a postcard. Let's listen to just a portion of the voice we played for you last week.
I remember that it happened in the moonlight, and I'll never know exactly how or why.
That was the voice of an all-time favorite in show business, Charlotte Greenwood. And the card we received with the right answer and bearing the earliest postmark belonged to William J. Weiss, P.O. Box 61, San Mateo, California. Very good work, Doc. Your $25, which isn't much, but it's nice, isn't it, is on its way. Now, here's another chance for everybody at home to play Says Who. Listen to this voice.
Though the mayor could no longer be seen, you could hear him yelling, "It's a trap! Run for your lives!" Krugelmouse leaped from the top of the cheese right down into the crowd, shouting, "It's a trap!" And even though Hannibal and the professor pulled the mayor out of the hole almost immediately, he too leaped into the crowd, yelling, "It's a trap! A man-made trap! Run for your lives!" And the mice ran in all directions.
For people at home, we can't identify the voice, but maybe, panel, you could give people at home a few clues. Vincent, do you want to try?
Well, does this man draw for a living? Or did he start out as a draftsman, a cartoonist?
He may have. I wouldn't know.
That's a great answer. That gives
You can't
me no
find more
clue.
honest answers.
I know it.
Look, Vincent, if you want wonderful answers, go back on the $64,000 thing. We go to Joey Adams.
Listen, this is the only program where the quizmaster knows less than the quizzer.
Well, it does give it a certain charm, doesn't it?
Not quizzers, I should say quizzees.
Quizzoo.
I'm a quizzee if you're the quizmaster, right?
Exquisite.
All right, this man is in show business.
Sir?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I'd said something.
Is he in show business?
You bet.
Is he an actor?
You bet. Well, you are.
Does he do voices?
Mainly his, and we go to Dagmar.
Does this man ever read,
He mainly does his voice?
Well, yeah, mainly.
Does he write children's books?
No.
He doesn't.
And I think, really, at this point, since we've given people at home so much help that they can barely stand anymore.
I think you're right.
This is going to be guessed by somebody who knew the voice. That's about the size of it. And I'm afraid that's as far as we ought to go. Now, if you think you know the right answer, would you write it on a card and put down your name and address and mail it to Says Who? Contest, Post Office Box 2150, Grand Central Station, New York 17. The correct answer with the earliest postmark wins $25. Remember, only postcard entries are eligible. You must mail your card no later than midnight this Wednesday. Duplicate prizes will be awarded for ties, and good luck. Panel, let's try another one before my voice gives out. Next week, you'll have to guess who I am, if I live. This voice was suggested by Richard G. Polk of Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania.
And one of our friends said to Congressman Judd, "You know what's the matter with you Americans?" And Congressman Judd was, of course, interested, and he said, "Now tell me, what is it?" He said, "You are too aggressively friendly."
May we have the offstage announcer identify that voice, please?
The voice you heard was that of General Carlos Romulo, former president of the Philippines.
Very interesting little round this time. And Dagmar, would you start it, old girl?
He sounds as though he's from a foreign country, so I'll ask, is he an American?
No. Wait a... Well, that's all right. That made sense.
That's all right, sure.
Thank you. Does he spend a lot of time in America?
Yes, he does.
Is he from India, that man, Chris Menuhin?
You want to go back to the guillotine for a minute? I want to see Chris Menuhin?
Yes.
No, dear. And we go to Orson Bean.
Is he an ambassador of some kind?
Sort of.
Is this fella from India?
No.
Is he from Russia?
No, sir.
Is he from behind the Iron Curtain?
No, he ain't.
Does this program go behind the Iron Curtain?
It may slip it under.
Because I was going to say lots of luck.
Yeah, I know that we'll do anything to confuse him. Can you imagine this thing in Moscow? Oh, boy. We'd be shot on the way in.
They'd adore us.
They'd adore you, dear, because in some things they have great taste. Vincent?
This man is not an actor.
No.
He was in ambassador work, but he wasn't employed by the government, was he? As a sort of ambassador of goodwill?
No.
No, bad will, huh?
Well, when he was working for us, he wasn't an ambassador.
He wasn't. Was he a liquor salesman?
No.
This is completely irrelevant.
That's
I
right.
Pass.
You pass, and we go to Joey Adams.
He talks about the Americans being aggressively friendly. He's a foreigner. He came to America as an ambassador. One of the South American countries?
No.
Connected in any way with that type of country?
In a way, let's say that where he comes from, they share lots of things in common with some of our South American neighbors.
That's very clear.
Yeah. I wanted to make that easy.
Is he like the Philippines or any of those kind of countries?
Yeah.
The Philippines, yeah, or the other kind of countries?
The Philippines Sea.
The Philippines Sea?
That's a cleaned up, yeah.
Well, there's only one man that I know is an ambassador from the Philippines that came to America that was employed here as a member of the UN.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos Romulo?
That's right. Very good, old Joe. And that sends $15 to Richard G. Polk of Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. And here's a message of importance.
When you come down with a real cold, isn't it a nuisance to have to buy aspirin, plus nose drops, plus cough syrup? Ever wish there was one medicine to relieve all those nasty cold miseries? Well, listen. Today, a remarkable new liquid medication can take the place of all three. The benefits of all three are now combined in one great new medicine to bring you faster, more thorough relief of cold distress. It's new four-way liquid cough and cold medication. Yes, now four-way liquid can give you more complete relief than any single-purpose remedy. Almost at once, its modern medicines can make you feel better all over when you have a cold. Four-way liquid can open stuffed-up nose, soothe sore throat, ease cough, relieve headache and body pains. Remember, it's already liquid, instantly ready to speed wonderful relief throughout the body. And it contains exclusive Rhinosec. That's why four-way liquid can bring more relief, faster relief of cold miseries. Today, get new, pleasant-tasting, four-way liquid cough and cold medication. Henry?
And that winds up this week's show. We hope you enjoyed playing Says Who. We hope you can come around again next week at the same time. Now here to say goodnight is Joey Adams.
Henry, good night, and good night, everybody.
Dagmar.
Good night. I hope you feel better, and good night, everybody.
Thanks, dear. Orson Bean.
Good night, Hen.
And we'd like to thank Vincent Price for joining our panel this evening. Good night, Vincent.
Good night. I think it would be a smash behind the Iron Curtain.
And this is Henry Morgan. Good night, anybody.
Says Who was created by Sidney Resnick, directed by Dick Stenter, and produced by Mike Oppenheimer for Frank Cooper Productions in cooperation with CBS Radio. A serious crisis looms at the very top of our educational system. Like to know what you can do about helping our colleges and other institutions of higher learning get the buildings, equipment, and personnel they so desperately need? Write to Higher Education, Box 36, Times Square Station, New York 36, New York. That's Higher Education, Box 36, Times Square Station, New York 36, New York. America listens most to the CBS Radio Network.